Tell me your name.
My name is Charles Pedescleaux, Sr.
And can you spell it for me? Can you spell it for me?
Charles Pedescleaux.
All right. Now, I'm from Downsville. I never heard that name before.
Where are you from?
Downsville.
You never heard that before?
No.
Oh, it's back for many years. From what I understand, we were the only the black in the Pedescleaux, but I worked with a man at McCall, and he told me his teacher, Arthur Cavalier, told me his teacher was a Pedescleaux, which she was white. But I never could get that. I mean, I didn't know anything about that.
Huh.
But the only Pedescleaux family that I know of is around in Donaldsonville here and St. James. I know of one family.
Let me ask you a question. Now, we're going to be talking about as far back as you can remember. Do you remember who your grandparents were?
Yes. I remember my grandmother, not my grandfather on either side, but I remember both grandmothers. My dad's grandmother was named Virginia Pedescleaux. She was, well, we lived right next to her from house to house. Right in the same yard almost. Now my mother was living on the plantation, what we call Plant Homer right now. And she was Louisa Williams. But I don't remember my grandfather. He always told me, I think he died in the year 21, the year I was born. And that made me, I didn't know him. And my mother, and my dad, and I never really remember him. I always wish I had someone to tell me what he was like. My grandmother always known as Mrs. Charles. My name is Charles Cromwell. You find this to be Charles on my daddy's side and Cromwell on my mother's side. But I never got anybody to tell me what my grandfather on my daddy's side was really like. But I remember her so well. She partly raised us from little kids, always around her on her knees and eating her fried bread and drinking her coffee. Yes, I remember her so well. She died in 1937, I think. Yeah, yes.
Did she tell you stories about how it used to be when she was a little girl?
No, I guess as she had told me, we were such a small kid at that time around her, we wasn't, you didn't think it wouldn't be much to us, you know. But, I remember her having a sister or a brother. I remember her having a cousin that used to visit her all the time.
Do you know what kind of living conditions they lived in? Like how they didn't have electricity back when you grew up?
No, we had the kerosene lamps, lanterns and lamps. That's for sure. And we had to be sure that we had them all, the globes all cleaned up in the evening, and the bottom filled with kerosene. To be sure we have light, and we put them out to go to bed. That burn them so long at night and put them out. And never slept in the light. Slept in the dark. That was sure.
Where did you get your kerosene?
That was from the closest store that we can get to, which was about a mile and a half from us. We used to carry a little tin can, a little tin or the little glass bottle, and get about a gallon, sometimes 5 cents, 10 cents a gallon. He had it stored there in the little thing. Screw it up, pump it up for us, and draw it out, and bring it back.
And tell me a little bit about like what it was like when you were a kid. And what part of Downsville were you born?
No, I never was a resident of the Downsville. That wasn't a resident. I lived in between Pine Homer and Lemonville, as we call Pedescleaux. Backside Pine Homer, Coalfield reached from A Bend now to Pedescleaux line. Pedescleaux line reached from there going down to Lemonville. That was a whole plantation. Somehow my grandfather got out of that plantation a home, a piece of property, and left the other part belonged to somebody else. But it was 3 families in that. It was the Robertson family, the Williams family, and the Pedescleaux family. It's still owned by the Pedescleaux because after I used to pay the tax for my people until they all died out. And I later went to Sarah Field and bought it out myself. It's still there in Pedescleaux's name. Now they got Robinson William Pedescleaux. It was up for sale. We would have sold it. William bought it. When he bought it, he tied it up. It can't be sold. You still have a grandson or somebody that's paying tax for it. But even if they wanted to sell it, it couldn't be sold. The reason of that, Mr. Tebow, the man I worked for years, he wanted to buy the whole place. And I told him the same story I'm telling you. And so he went and looked it up. And he come back and told me, I said, it's true. He said, we the man bought that property and we it's listed in the courthouse, they can't sell it. And it's in between Robinson and Pedescleaux. Pedescleaux is on the front, William in the middle, Robinson on the back. It would have been sold. I bought it. It's no use right now. It's in trees. It's not useful. But that one little piece in between us blocks the sale. But I still maintain it.
So, did you go to school?
Did I go to school? Yes, I went to school as far as the 6th grade. As far as I can get. Right. We used to walk from where I lived to Abin. The Abin school was in Abin, and the only teacher that I knew was named Lily Knotts. She was a teacher at that time, and that was way back in the 30s. Because I stayed in school until I got up to the 5th grade. As far as she taught as far as the 6th grade, and from there you had to leave to come to Donaldsonville. But then, my father died in 1930, in 1940, and that left us with 7 of us with my mother. So we had to we had to get to work to support the family. They put me out of school. And I worked for the Tebows. I went from there, I went to Tebows and Crawford on the plantation at Pine Home until I went to the service. I went to the service in 42. I stayed until 45. Came out in 1945. I stayed with my mother about like I married in 46. Stayed there at Pedescleaux until 50. I was able to build a house in St. John where I am now. And left Pedescleaux. In fact, we don't have no houses on Pedescleaux. Now my mother's house I moved to here, and nothing left there but trees.
Did you had brothers and stuff in Donaldsonville?
They all moved to Donaldsonville after they was adults. I had one brother, the first brother moved to Donaldsonville. Victor, he's a year younger than I am. He was in the school business. He finished school. After he came out of the service, he went to veteran school, and he went to Leland College and finished up his grades over there, and came back and got in the school business. And he bought a house on Orange Street. I think it belonged to some of the people over there. But he stayed there for a while, and finally he was called to the ministry. He started pastoring in Darrow. He built a house in Darrow, and he left his house to my oldest brother. He's living there now. He sold it to my oldest brother, Clarence Pedescleaux, 711 Orange Street. But none of us never did live in Donaldsonville. We were always going. Donaldsonville was a city to us because we was all in the country. It was something big. When we were kids coming up, one thing we used to look for coming out of school, it was a state fair. Where they held on the park out there for 7 days, and on Friday was school day, and our teacher used to take us out there, and we would run her like chicken around a hen. And she was protecting us for all small kids, and we enjoyed that for being for Donaldsonville. And this was one of the big places that we did our shopping. Finally, the wholesale and the groceries, clothes, whatever. The stores in the rural, it was grocery stores, gasoline and kerosene. But Donaldsonville had everything else that you need. Some of the things when I remember the stores in Donaldsonville, B&M and them brothers had a big store right on the front of Mississippi Street out there. We used to deal in there plenty. Another one down on the avenue was, and on the right now is whatever the name it is, but it was, we call it take and pay. Most other stores, the clerk used to bring it, we used to get you give them the list, you get all your groceries and bring it to the counter, you pay for it. Take and pay, you go behind the counter and you get all you want and come out to the counter and pay. That was the first name of that place, take and pay. So many of us used to go to where we can take and pay. Yep, you haul it out of there.
Are you familiar with the True Friendship House?
Go where?
True Friendship?
True Friend Hall?
Yeah.
I went there as a Mason. I was made in the third degree of Mason in the True Friend Hall. And that's why I visited there. We had a meeting there once a month, upstairs. Yeah. But I wasn't belonging to the society.
Did you go to any of the dances over there? Any of the dances?
Oh no, I never was a dancer. From small, we were raised baptized believers in Christ. My daddy was a deacon of the church, my mother was a steward, a deaconess. And if I tell you, they were so strict on us as boys being left behind at the yard on Sundays, and they went to church on Sundays and stayed over there a couple, 3 or 4 hours. But we had to be so sure. If we played marble, we had to mark the dust out of the ring that we were playing with. We wasn't to play marble on Sundays, we wasn't to play ball on Sundays. And that's just how the older people thought of their religion, and that's how they taught us. But for dancing, none of us was, out of 7 boys we raised, none of us was dancers.
What did y'all do for entertainment?
Find a few little parties once in a while where there wasn't a whole lot of music and so on, and all that kind of stuff. We had enough of it amongst ourselves. As boys, we had our own little backyard, we had our own little ball team, and whatever we did. And it come up.
How did you meet your wife? How did you meet your wife?
I met my wife, let's see, the first wife, I got to tell you how I met her. Yes. I'm trying to think how I met her. I don't know how I met her, but somehow I did. I came out of the service, that's for sure. That was in the 40s. And I think I was introduced to her because I went to school with her sisters. She was the younger one out of the bunch. And I met her. I met her through her sister. And I courted her for a while, and we got married in 46. Out of that family, I had 5 children, 4 daughters and 1 son. I have been married to her for 47 years. She died in 91. And I stayed with her until 92. The girl I married, I courted her before I went to the service. And when I came back, I found her courting. I left her alone and married a girl that she finally lost her husband before I lost my wife. I got in touch with her and asked her what she was doing. She said she was laying down hugging the pillow. I told her she didn't have to hug the pillow when she had to hug a man. Yeah. So I finally got in touch with her, and I got married to her about 13 years ago. We living together now. She finally got 4 children, I believe, grown adults, and I have 5 grown adults. We're a good family now.
You're a lucky man.
Huh?
You're a lucky man.
Yes I am. I'm lucky. We stay in touch with everybody somehow. I mean, I wasn't cheating on my wife to see her. After even when I came back. Because with a wife with 5 kids, and much I can do was provide for my kids and my wife.
So who did you work for now?
Working now?
No, before. You worked
I worked for Evan Hall Sugar Corporation for 50 years.
What did you do?
In the sugar mill, maintenance work.
Tell me about it.
Oh, it was rough when I first went there because I didn't understand what I was doing. But I learned the work, and I dedicated myself to it, made myself what I was, and got to be pretty well knowing the house, the run of the house, and work from one place to the other in the house to keep it running. During the summertime, we did a whole lot of repair. We were acquainted with what was going on. During the operation, it was most of my work to see that the things go. As long as it was a breakdown, it was okay. If it was a breakdown, then I had to hustle to try to get it back up. I worked about 12 years from midnight to midday, 12 hours. Later on, we switched. The law came out, we couldn't make all these hours, 8 hours a day. And I found myself working from 3 in the evening to 11 at night. Before it was all over with, I was just a foreman in the house for the last 4 years. I had to see that I have it done instead of doing it myself, because I was old enough to know what had to be done. And I would have. I retired in 86. I retired in 86, and I usually go back during the harvesting season, and just to help them out, keep the mill going. And I would have made it longer, but after all, the mill closed up itself, and that closed me out. I was too old to go try to hide myself anywhere else. But I made a good living out of it. I had to hustle and scuffle, but I never was hungry, never was naked. It was good. It was good. I had a good relationship with the people who I worked with, and that's what made it good.
What exactly did you do for the sugar mill? What exactly did you do for the sugar mill? What kind of work?
Maintenance work.
Oh, okay. On the
Maintenance work, mechanical work.
Do you have any funny stories? You should have some funny stories from all that.
From what?
From working in the mills and stuff. Not too
Funny? That
No.
was funny, wasn't funny. I took it seriously. No, it was fun to work. Like the work wasn't. It was hard work, but it was after getting anointed so well. It was all right. I woke up every morning and wanted to go. Either had to do that or do something else. I had many of them who started with me left and went out on a construction job, but I stayed there with it. Salary didn't get to real big, but it got better. I started off at 45 cents an hour. When I left with me, I was getting about $11 an hour. But it was all right. Every now and then I get a little pension from it. It helps. Social Security. That helps. It's a living.
What was you used to come to Downsville? I know you didn't live here, but you used to come to Downsville. You ever go to the movie theaters?
Yes. The theater uptown right now, I was looking at that building. I just passed by that building and looked at it upstairs. And when we first used to go, most of the movies we went to on Saturdays. We went to out there for the Western Union, Long Range, or some other that got down the container that they used to have. And it was about 10 cents or 15 cents just to go in. And the white was at the bottom and the black was at the top. Until they built another theater here in Downsville, Harmless Theater. I think that's where the Negroes used to come back here. But by that time I was about giving up the television was coming in. My mother was able to get a television, and that threw me out. I don't know the last time I've been to a theater. I get more than I want to see now.
When you went to the Grand Theater, did you have sweet popcorn?
Free?
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet popcorn.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, the sweet popcorn used to get it as we're going in to get a little bag of popcorn going in before we get upstairs. We get that for about a nickel, and we had a dime for the ticket. That's as much as we need. So that they eat the popcorn and look at the movie. And they had about two shows on Saturdays, one in the evening and one at night. We have to get in there in the evening so we can get back home down the road before it get dark.
So how would you get to town?
My daddy had a little Model Air Ford, and he used to transfer us back and forth. Model Air Ford, the 30-mile Model Air Ford from after he died. My mother bought another automobile. I forget. It was always a way some other passengers pick you up. Or 2 or 3 families get together. get up to Donaldsonville.
Now, was the road paved or was it dirt?
No, the gravel road for a long time. That road was gravel road. Gravel. That road got paved there not too many years ago. Had good road. I remember when they had ruts in the holes in the road. The automobiles would get stuck in the road. They had to get them out. Yeah. The avenue had bricks on Railroad Avenue before they had cement up there. Yeah, block brick. There was brick road down the street. Yeah.
You don't remember when it was dirt, huh? The roads were dirt?
No. All the time I remember they had, the further I used to travel on it anyhow, it was, you had bricks. The whole wide avenue was bricks. They had a hotel up there in front of Donaldsonville, just as you come in on Mississippi Street. Used to have a hotel up there behind there where the library is up there down there somewhere now.
You know the name of that hotel?
Hmm?
Do you know the name of that hotel?
No, I don't remember. My mother had a cousin who used to work there, a son singer. He was a cook or somebody, and I used to pass him, seeing with his apron on the streets, you know. Yeah, that's no hotel there.
I think it was Hotel Nichols.
Hotel Nichols might have been.
It burnt down, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it was. Yes.
Do you remember any stories your mom used to tell? What did they used to cook?
What you cook?
Yeah.
Oh man. For 7 of us and her husband and herself, she relied on beans. That's for sure. And during the time, the gardening, whatever she had vegetables, there was cabbage, there was snap bean, there was carrot peas, turnip, whatever you can get out of the garden. There was plenty for us. And the funny thing is that now, with all this modern stuff, they cook a whole lot of stuff and then it got to last a whole week. My mother used to cook every day. She used to cook 3 meals, or Mother said 3 meals a day. She had the breakfast, which was just whatever they were serving, and she had to have the dinner, and she had to have a supper. It was grits or something like that to go along with the supper. But nowadays you got either what you call heat and eat, a microwave. They cook a pile of it, they put it away, and then all they got to do is go in again and get it in there. He didn't need it. It'll make you lose your appetite. Yeah, I tell my wife that all the time. I don't see why she had to cook a pot of beans for 2 of us. When I get up in the morning, the funny thing about it, I do the breakfast in the morning because she sleep late. I say, why do I have to cook? I cook just enough for me, you and I, for breakfast. You don't have nothing left. You don't have to save nothing for the next day. Why you have to cook the dinners once a week for all the week? You know, heat and eat. Oh, come on, man. It's a different world from when I started.
Was your mom a good cook?
Mom a good cook? Oh yes. Everybody relied on my mother cooking. She was a good cook. She made the bread. She baked the cake. You said whatever it was. She really was a good cook.
Did you ever go rabbit hunting or shoot?
And my daddy did a lot of that too. I never did. I never was a hunter. I never was a fisher. My daddy used to hunt the rabbits. I never known him to fish. But anything out there that he can kill and bring back home for fresh meat, he did that. And during that season, that was